Good morning, you tubadors and you tubians. Welcome to Morning Coffee. You're like, hey, we sent you all that coffee. What you sipping out of that funny looking cup for? Well, because it's 6 p.m. here. Yep, I'm doing them at night for this week so I can get them uploaded while I sleep. And then the signal will probably be a lot better when all them turkey trackers are sleeping. Hopefully don't have all their gadgets on. It's terrible today. It took 8 hours to upload a 8-minute video. But I'll deal with it. I got that cell phone booster coming Monday. Hopefully that, even with that going on, that's still probably not going to make it perfect. But it ought to boost it up enough where I can get some videos up. So I'm going to try to keep these little, reasonably short. Yesterday, doing the unboxing, I could not figure out what those chargers were. It was in the same box as the ring light. I'm using both ring lights right now, so I imagine it's very bright. I didn't put it together that it went with the ring light, because the ring light doesn't have a plug-in for electricity. It has a USB port, which cool. It comes on a selfie stick, so you can take that anywhere you go, and you take those power packs. You got power for a long time, and it's running right now. And Eunice, I love that thing. That's great. People are asking me what I did for a living and all this and that, and where I live. I've lived all over the country, and one of the reasons is I was a journeyman press operator. I worked for major newspapers. I worked for small newspapers. I worked for commercial print shops. When I was younger, I had a gypsy in me. I didn't want to stay in one spot very long, and I'm glad I didn't, because I met a lot of people. I learned a lot of different things and different cultures, from the different places I've lived. I worked for the Denver Post. I worked for the Fort Worth Star-Telegram, Las Vegas Review-Journal, Des Moines Register, St. Paul Pioneer Press. I know I'm forgetting something, but I moved around, but back in newspapers' heyday, before the internet destroyed it, man, you could get a job anywhere. And before fax machines or any of that, or the internet, you just call them up, ask for the press room manager. Hey, man, you need any help? Sure. And it usually always needed help. And you just, a lot of times they'd pay your move, and you go down there. I've slept in parks in my car until I got my first paycheck, because it was a good paying job, and some of the bigger papers would not pay for the move, and you just did whatever you did. I slept in Denver. I slept in a Winnebago, one of the pressman's Winnebagos. Didn't even have no power in the middle of winter, 20 below zero, and I had 10 quilts in that thing, and I'd just get under there and take all my clothes off, because when you sleep without any clothes, your body heat will warm you up. I'd get under all them, cover my head and everything, and it was cold. Wake up next morning fine, But that's what you have to do sometimes. It ain't always going to be a hotel waiting on you or something, There's a job, and you got a car, hey, you got a bed. That's the way I looked at it. But when I went to Denver, I didn't even have a car. And that's how, took a shower at the paper. All the papers have 3 or 4 locker rooms with showers in them, so you had a shower. It wasn't like I was broke or nothing, but you do what you got to do, man. And so it took me all over the country, and I learned a lot of different things. It wasn't the only thing I've done in my life. I've done marble. I learned a lot of my carpentry skills by working with cultured marble, which is like in the 80s, it was in everybody's bathroom, the sinks and the showers. We'd put the showers in. You only get one chance at cutting marble, and you got to cut out the holes for the, for the plumbing and all that. You only get one chance cutting it, because you can't grab another piece, and it's very fragile. So I learned a lot of it probably by doing that kind of work. At some places, I think when I worked in Vegas, or no, not Vegas, in Minnesota, I worked at a marble shop during the day, worked at the paper at night. I had 2 jobs. I did the same thing in Vegas. I worked for the Las Vegas Review-Journal, and then I worked for a commercial shop during the day. And man, you talk about being tired, but it paid good. You know, if you could get 2 jobs doing it, you know, that was one of them was flexible, then you made good money. But yeah, then the 90s came, and just the papers started folding. You know, when the internet right about 89, 90, when the internet started to come out. The one paper I was working at, I think it was in Ohio, it was a smaller paper. They just came in one day, called everybody in, said, hey, this is the last paper we're printing. And all of us pressmen went out and got drunk all day long. All day long. We could barely walk. We put that last paper out. One of the pressmen didn't. He was in the car in the parking lot. But yeah, what was they going to do? Fire us? But we stayed for another 2 weeks, got the press cleaned up, and that was a big company, and they had a newspaper in Minnesota. I ain't never been nowhere like Minnesota before. I showed up in November with a windbreaker. No, it was the coldest weather I've ever felt in my life, and I probably worked at least 10 years up in Iowa, Minnesota. I got a lot of friends up there, so, you know, but man, it's cold. It is cold, but I think I can handle that better now. It's the heat that I don't like, but, you know, heat's only a few months long. You can get through it. You're all right, as long as I got air conditioning. But yeah, and then even the bigger papers, you know, like Denver had the Rocky Mountain News and the Denver Post, and Rocky Mountain News, they went out, and Denver closed their production facility and took over the Rocky Mountain News facility, and a lot of guys lost their jobs, and the only ones that they kept were the ones in high in seniority. I'd already been gone by then. I was in Des Moines. I left Denver and went to Des Moines, which I liked living in Des Moines. That place didn't pay very well, but it was okay. I mean, $20 an hour, that's pretty good money, but for most papers, that's not much money compared to the others. So, but I never liked it. I don't think it was so much the work, it was the hours. You always had to work nights. Even in the littler papers, the smaller papers, you had to work nights, and it's hard on your body. And then moving around all the 2,000-pound rolls of newsprint. In the smaller newspapers, you're lifting those. You know, in the bigger ones, you got robots that'll bring them, or they come on a track, automated track, and you just push a button and it comes in. You push it into the reel. But it's interesting work. But you know, I'm glad I'm the age I am now and not have to go look for more, because there's no more to be found. Very, very little. But you know, if you ever wonder why there are so many different kinds of churches, blame the printing press. Gutenberg in the 15th century, invented the printing press. Before that, there was pretty much the Catholic Church in America, England, and, you know, Europe and that. And then the Muslim countries, I guess they had that. I don't know. But anyway, that's when nobody had a Bible. Not even the priests had a Bible. They were just taught what to do, you know, what to teach people. So when the printing press was invented, people started, you know, once the Bible started going into print, and they allowed the Bible to be put out in all the different languages, that's when people started interpreting it differently. And that's why you got the first came the Baptist, you know, and I'm not no expert. I watched something on this. The Baptist, and they spun off. So, I mean, in my town, we probably got 150 churches. They're everywhere, all different kinds, which is fine. But 200 years ago, you wouldn't have had that, because the printing press put the Bible in everybody's hand. You know, this isn't a religious talk. I'm just telling you how the Bible got in everybody's homes. The printing press. So, and I'm glad I didn't have to print the Bible, because that paper's so thin. That's got to be trouble printing on that. It's like rice paper or something. So anyway, I got more about that, you know. But got to keep it short. So I know the lighting's got to be a lot better. I'm working on doing the unboxing. I had the camera too low, so I'm holding stuff, but you can't see it. We'll work on that. I'm getting better. I'm getting better at it. So bear with me, guys, and I appreciate all the new subscribers. Happy trails.